Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to the newest episode of Uncovering the Underground radio podcast show, brought to you by my companies Brutal Business Entertainment and Celestial Oddities Radio. As always, I will be your guide and host on this enthralling and encapsulating journey that we call underground entertainment, from music to modeling to stars on the screen, from comedy and oddities and everything in between. We bring you an episode every Thursday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, from iTunes to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Deezer, Spreaker, CastBox, Amazon, Google Play, and everything else in between. So feel free to listen where you feel most comfortable. Please make sure, though, that you click the like, share, and follow button on whatever platform you are tuning in from, because what that does is it allows more people to discover the show, moves us up the podcast community rankings, keeps you in the loop with new episodes as they air, and gives you unfiltered access to our past archives. And folks, like I said, we bring you absolutely a ton of material, whether it be this show, Uncovering the Underground, where we do talk to upcoming visionaries and bands, models, and music, to Knights of the Nephilim, which is one of my other two podcasts, where we talk about ceremonial magic and the esoteric and occult doctrines of magic, to Celestial Oddities Paranormal Guys podcast, where we talk about the supernatural and the paranormal phenomena that goes on around the world. So we have so much that we bring to you guys across Celestial Oddities Radio. Very happy to announce that tonight is our 135th episode that we've brought you under the header of Celestial Oddities. I've done radio prior to opening my own company, but with Celestial Oddities, we've done 135 episodes, and it feels great to be able to do what I love week in and week out for you guys, week in and week out, and year year out, I should say. And I looked earlier, and that equates to 233 hours of radio, guys. So thank you for my fans and listeners out there for sticking around with me for all of that. I look back, and I was just telling the guys I have on this evening that it's hard to imagine 233 hours of talking. But sure enough, we've easily done that, and I look forward to 1,000 more. So stick around, continue to share it to your friends and family, for people you think would enjoy the shows that I do that might not know about it, because we have so much more to come for you this season, next season, and the seasons to come after that. We do have several more episodes of UTU this season, and then once that ends, we will be bringing you Season 3 of Knights of the Nephilim and Season 3 of Celestial Oddities Paranormal Guys. So lots of great stuff coming up throughout the year. Make sure you don't miss it. So tonight's guest is a guest that we had on last season. Now, I've told this many times, and I'll just say it again, that last season was a little bit of a distance ago because we were ending this show, and then we decided to be able to bring it back once life allowed a little bit more freedom for me to run all three. And, we were happy to have them on last season. We're bringing them back again tonight. And last time it was just their singer with us. Tonight we have their singer and their guitarist with us. And we are going to jump into their music, who they are, a little bit about them. And I'm going to jump into it right now, folks. So episode 7, we kick in with a death metal band with a full-scale sonic assault and a sound unique enough to call their own, which is American Razorgrind. Emerging from Denver, Colorado's fruitful metal scene, Angelic Desolation is ready to take the world by storm, or slit throats in the name of Satan, whichever opportunity comes first. The band's combination of grind, thrash, and death metal, paired with outrageous, horror-themed stage antics, makes for a musical presentation that audiences won't soon forget. And they certainly won't. I love these guys' music. I am a huge personal fan of these guys. I think you will be as well. We have 3 songs to showcase this evening, so stick around to check those out, and certainly to hear a little bit more about who these guys are as individuals and as the men behind the music. So make sure you light up your joints, crack open some beers, kick up your feet, and lend me your ears as we go ahead and dig together and uncover the underground with Angelic Desolation. How you guys doing tonight?
Feeling good, man.
Doing good.
It's a pleasure to have you guys back on, man. I'm looking forward to it. I had a great time last time. Like I said, I'm a big fan of your guys' music and what you do, and I was glad that we could bring back a season 2 of this show, and not only do that, but bring back some of my favorites, and you guys were certainly one of the first, if not the first band I asked to come back on season 2.
That's awesome, man, dude. We're happy to be here, dude. I love this. Yeah.
I love the technicality of your guys' music, the sound of it. I love that it's very heavy, it's very technical, it's very in your face and extreme, but it also has a fun and humorous side to it as well. And it brings together what is nice, that it can be serious, but it can be funny at the same time. It's heavy and
Matt's
light.
Serious, I'm the funny.
Exactly. So Matt's the serious, you're the funny, Jay, and that's all right. It's a good blend of things to bring together into your music, and I think these people that are listening in this evening will certainly like that. Now, before I jump further into the interview, guys, one thing I did fail to mention here a minute ago was if you are listening in, as I said, you can listen wherever you want to listen from. But if you go through Spreaker.com or through the Spreaker app, and that's speaker with an R, so Spreaker, that is our hosting company. And you can not only listen through them, but you can jump in and actually talk to us during the show, leave comments, feedback, and engage in the show right alongside of us. And I will read those comments off during the show. We already have about 6 or 7 comments pouring in. So feel free, if you're listening out there, to jump over to that platform and engage with us. That's something that Spreaker gives as an option that iTunes and iHeartRadio don't give, because I don't see those comments if you leave them on there. So feel free to jump in and ask these guys questions this evening and get to know them. We have some people saying, "What's up, guys? What's up, brother? Horns up. Congrats on episode 135. Can't wait for Celestial Oddities and Knights of the Nephilim seasons to come up," and a bunch of other comments pouring in as well. So thank you guys so much. We'll get to them as they come up. And so, how's it been going since the last time we talked? Because even though it was last season, I think it was about 2 years ago.
If it was 2 years ago, that would have been the year we put out our last EP. And we, like I was telling you earlier before we went live, we just got out of the studio for our new album. So we've just been writing new music and playing shows, just keeping foot on the gas pedal.
I think it was. You guys had just, previous to coming on the show, released the EP, and I had gotten you on right around then. So it's perfect timing to get you back on, not only to recap, but also to talk about the new project coming up. So, you guys have been busy at work with the new album. Normally I get into that later in the episode, but it's a good segue right into it. Why don't, we'll start with you, Jay. Why don't you tell us, a little bit about this album, how it's been with the process of writing it, and what fans can look forward to as far as how many tracks and how it's come together for you.
So it's got 8 tracks on it. One of them's a cover. I don't know if I'm allowed to release that. All right, it's going to be it's a decapitated cover. Decapitation. God damn it. Sorry, the last one we did was decapitated. Now we're doing cow decapitation.
Okay.
It's cow decapitation cover, forced gender reassignment. It's going to be fucking cool. We're working really hard on it, but and then the 7 other songs are just, it's just a melody of fucking insanity, dude. And it was really fun to write. We have a Conan song on there. Me and Matt are huge, comic book movie Conan, fans. Huge fans of Conan. I didn't do him wrong. I think we did him pretty good. I got to wait to see when the album comes out if Matt can actually work out to it, and then we'll see if we did good.
Okay. It's going to be the workout tune. If it works for working out, then it's good.
Yeah, for Matt, not me. I don't work out. But anyways, so yeah, we got a lot of crazy shit coming out. This next album is actually going to be really good. Max, our drummer, killed the shit out of it. Our bassist that we got, new guy that's also been, so me and Matt have been friends for 20 fucking years, and we recently had to let go of a bassist that we've been friends with for 20 years, and we got a new bassist that we've been friends with for 20 years.
Okay, so I dig it. So people come and go. Unfortunately, just kind of the way that it goes. It's par for the course. But it's good to see that the members that you lost were that were lifelong friends, or a good portion of your life you've been able to replace with other lifelong friends. So you have the camaraderie between brothers, and I talk about that time and time again, especially with metal bands. Any band, that's important, but I really feel in the metal scene you have to have a very tight bond with your brothers or sisters if you have females in the band. That is very important to the flow of music. as I said, it's important in any band, but music is a tough scene to be a part of because there is a lot of challenges we face as metal musicians that other type of bands don't. It's harder to get shows in certain areas. It's harder to get on certain bills, especially if you're an up-and-coming metal band. But as you break through, those things will start to happen. But why don't you tell us, and Matt, we'll jump to you, how have you guys been perceived from the EP to now as far as acceptance, not only in the metal scene, but in general in music? And how has it been trying to break through that veil, going from a local band to starting to really break beyond that and doing bigger things?
Well, I definitely would say that, about 2 years ago, when we were on here last time, when COVID hit and everyone's got some money that comes into them free of charge, I spent that money myself on just a lot of social media classes and how to kind of utilize these tools. That being someone, I'm 36 and I've never been the biggest social media fan, nor did I care for the longest time. But at some point, you just kind of have to realize that that's the future, and it's either embrace it or don't. And that's fine if you don't, but it's going to be that much harder to get success, if you don't go down that path. So after taking about a year's worth of social media classes and really kind of utilizing that, how that is, translated into what we're doing now, after that EP came out, we actually were contacted by a promoter in South Dakota. It's one of the bigger death metal fests going on in the United States, called Slam Dakota. We got invited to that due to the success of the EP and just kind of utilizing social media to the lengths that I could. So we definitely spread the word around enough that people in higher places started paying attention. And we actually got invited to do Slam Dakota again this year in August. So we'll be going there for 2 years in a row. And like I said, we're just keeping our foot on the gas pedal. We're not stopping anytime soon. We've got this new album to promote. And we're touring 3 times this year. So we're not stopping anytime soon.
No, man, I've seen you guys doing a lot coming up with the tours you guys are posting and got planned coming up, the new album dropping, and just the new music. And that was the thing that really caught my attention. And I say this about most of the bands I bring on. I have to have a love or appreciation of some sort for the people I bring on, or I wouldn't bring them on. But, I listen to different bands catch me in different ways, or I've come across them in different ways. And a lot of times I'm impressed. But when I came across you guys a few years back or a couple years back, I don't remember how I came across you. I just remember click and play, and I loved the name. The name for you guys. So sometimes it's artwork, sometimes it's the name, sometimes I just hear it and I am like, who is it? Who are these guys? You guys caught me. I read the name Angelic Desolation, and I'm like, well, that's the fucking most death metal name I've ever heard. I'm like, that is perfect. I'm like, that is a beautiful death metal name. And I clicked on the music, and it didn't let me down because, to be honest with you, and I've said this before, I don't carry high hopes a lot of times for a lot of metal bands, and it's no hate towards them or any type of shade. It's just that they can have the best artwork and title in the world, and then their music's garbage. They can have the best music in the world, but their artwork's garbage and everything else is garbage. When you find something that's a nice blend, it really just hits you. And I seen your guys' name, it stuck to me. I clicked on the page and clicked play. The music started just fucking my ear hole, and I'm like, absolutely loving it. I'm looking at the artwork. There's artwork associated with it. It's dope. The lyrics to it made me laugh in some parts, but also very serious. And I'm like, okay, these guys are legit. And I loved the technicality of the guitar, the drums. Right off the bat, before I even read the bio of you guys, I was thinking this is a nice mixture of death metal and grindcore. And then I read the bio, and we call ourselves American Razorgrind. And I'm like, all right, these guys are branding their own shit. I'm like, okay, it's a deal. I'm reaching out to these guys and getting them on the show. So no, I love it. It certainly stands out amongst others. And you guys are doing it proper because it's not just straight grindcore. It's not just straight death metal. It is that blend between both, which makes it so significant, because I hear a lot of grindcore bands that they have the speed, but they don't really stand out to me. There's nothing about them, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to jam that over and over again. It's just like, man, these guys are technical. You hear a lot of death metal bands that are really just, it's drop kicked in the face, but there's parts that you're like, I just feel like there should be more technicality there. But you guys blend both of those both of those structures together seamlessly. So I want to give you guys first and foremost kudos for what it is you do, because as I said, I'm a fan, and I know these guys, if they haven't heard you yet, here in a few minutes we'll let them get a taste, but it's beautiful.
No, we definitely appreciate that, and we definitely, it's kind of really the way that the creation process goes. It's pretty open, really. It's just like, hey, do you have a cool riff? I have a cool riff. Does it make you headbang or does it make you want to mosh? And that's it. That's literally the rules. I mean, we don't try to, like I said, we definitely take ourselves seriously in a business sense, but a saying that's kind of become popular as of recent with us is that, like, there's evil Satan and then there's party Satan. And we're the latter. We just try to be party Satan. Now, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of Satanism here and there and giving the finger to religion. But the idea is that while we can take ourselves pretty seriously, it's nice to, Jay bringing the comedy aspect of it, like you're headbanging, getting into the music, but if you're reading along, you're kind of laughing at the same time. Like, that's what we're trying to do.
I'm also kind of like, I'm a lot of the old school. That's the death metal that you're hearing. These guys get more technical, and they're sharpening their swords and making the metal like sharper. While I'm kind of the old man with my old blunt sword. That's like, I like old school death metal, and I'm a huge Gwar fan. So I'm like mixing the two of those together.
You can never go wrong with being a Gwar fan. I've seen Gwar live now probably about 9 times, and every time it's an honor. It's a blast. And as you said, they do that too. They bring in the elements of just humor with awesome riffs. I mean, yes, you read some of their lyrics like fucking an animal and things, and you're like, man, these guys are ridiculous. But then you listen to like Immortal Corruptor and you're like, wow, okay, so they can be funny. They can have humorous videos, but then they can have really serious videos and some badass metal riffs. And all together, it just brings you that perfect package. I mean, you don't even need the special effects for them to be a dope band. But when you add in what they do on stage, I mean, forget about it.
Yeah, no, that's our whole thing, is that we have awesome riffs. It fucking punches you in the dick, but at the same token, like, we're not trying to take ourselves like super serious. Like, I don't want to have an existential crisis like while writing a fucking album. I'll deal with that on myself, But while we're doing it, like, I want to make people laugh. I want to make them smile, and then the rest of the band is responsible for making people like headbang their fucking skulls off,
And that's the way it should be, man. And since we were talking about Gwar, I want to give a quick rest in peace to Otis Urungus, because, it's a sad thing that he had passed. And I think that even though Gwar is still an amazing band, without him, they will never be what they once were. But that's not to say that they're not amazing. It's just to say that the feeling changed.
100%. Have you gone to a Gwar concert without him?
So weirdly enough, I seen Gwar once or twice since then, since Odorous passed. The first time was at Mr. Small's here in Pittsburgh, great little venue, and we had a great time. The second time, or maybe I'm mixing them up, vice versa, I can't remember, was at the strangest of shows, which was Gathering of the Juggalos. I've only ever went one time, and I mean, it's really, I obviously am in the rap scene as a hip hop artist, or at least I was for years. But
dude, I got the Hatchet Man tattoo.
Do you? Okay, I don't get down with a lot of the Juggalo shit though. Don't get me wrong, I do on certain elements, but there's a lot of the shit that they have at the Gathering that I'm just like, yeah, I would never watch this, but. The Gathering in itself is just a wild time.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to one.
Dude, it is just chaos in a 4-day package. You know what I mean? By the time you hit day 4, you're like, I just really want to go home.
It sounds so fun.
And that is a good time. When you know that, like, you actually want to leave, you know you had a good time. Like, most concerts I've went to 2- and 3-day festivals, blast. That's the only one I've ever went to that was a 4-day festival. And by the end of night 3, I was like, I need to get the hell out of here. And it was on day 4, and I'm going to tell a funny story here. It was on day 4 that I went down to the restrooms down at the bottom of this hill, and on the way back up in the gravel, because it was a dusty mess. I mean, there was just dust everywhere. In this dusty gravel, I seen a dollar bill or a $5 bill, I can't remember, sticking out, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah. I reached down and I pulled it up, and it was a poop dollar. Someone shit on that dollar, and then they hit it, in the gravel. So that some asshole like me would pull it out of the gravel thinking they got a $5 bill and it would have shit all over it. So I got poop dollared at the Gathering of the Juggalos. But no.
Did you keep it?
What's that? No, fuck no, I didn't keep it. I should have probably. I should have.
Man, I would have kept it, man. $5. That's $5.
It was $5, but that $5 stayed at the Gathering. Some other person definitely kept that. But no, I left that there. But no, the Gathering had Gwar there that year, and I don't think a lot of people had ever seen Gwar, and I don't think they knew what to think of them, but everyone loved it. You've seen all these juggalos being like, what the fuck is going on right now? But they loved it. But it was after Odorous' passing. And like I said, they were great then. They were great at Mr. Smalls. They still had it, but it just wasn't the same feeling. The first time I seen Gwar, it was Ballsack, the Mighty Jaws of Death. At the end of the show, I was like, hey, bro, I was like, your fucking guitar playing sick. And he didn't say anything, and he pointed at me. And I was only like 16 years old at this time. So this is going back a ways. And he's like, he kind of waved at me like, come here. And I like pointed at myself, and he's like, shook his head. Yeah, come here, come here. And I start walking towards him. I'm like, what's up, man? He doesn't say anything. He's like, come here, with his hand. I get closer and closer, and he leans down like he's going to whisper something in my ear, and I'm kind of like pumped. I'm like, holy shit, this dude's about to tell me something. As he gets towards my ear, he sprays me directly in the eyeball with fake blood, but not like the watered-down fake blood. I'm talking like the gel Halloween blood. Sprays it right into my 16-year-old eye, and then laughs and walks off stage.
You were blessed. You were blessed that day, son.
And it fucking burned, and my dad was there. My dad's the one that took me. Actually, I think I wasn't even 16. I think I was actually 14 at that time, if I remember correctly. And so I was just a little kid, and this fucker sprayed his blood in my eyes and then just laughed at me and walked off stage. But that moment's always stuck with me, that I'm like, yeah, the first time I seen Gwar, fucking Ballsack, the Mighty Jaws of Death blinded me. And
dude, that's awesome.
It makes for a funny story.
On my leg. I went and saw them every year since like 2005. I went and saw them every year, every time they came, every single time. Matter of fact, my wife that I am now married to is a huge Gwar fan, and we saw them together.
That's awesome, man.
Headbutting people together. That was our fucking band. When Odorous died, like, I jumped out of bed, freaking the fuck out. Like, I was upset as shit. So I refused to see them until maybe 2019. I went with a friend to go see Gwar, and I was like, all right, I'll see Gwar. I know it's not going to be the same, but, like, they're going to be playing, like, old school songs, or they're going to be playing, like, their new songs, mostly. A few old school songs, mostly their new songs. It's going to be cool, whatever. Get there, they're playing nothing but old school songs, and I'm sorry, but it's like, dude, you're not fucking Odorous, man. And there was no wave of people. Like, when you used to go, and there'd be, like, a wave of, like, if you were in the middle of the crowd or in the front of the fucking auditorium, like, you weren't going anywhere. You were trapped. Because there was just a wave of fucking people, and you were getting alien juice, and it was crazy. And it wasn't even fucking like that. And I remember, like, like I said, nothing against the new Gwar, but, like, I grabbed my friend, and I was like, hey, I'm going to the bar next door. Like, I'm really sad now.
Well, that brings up a good question, and I would like to hear your guys' opinion on it. I think you kind of just gave yours, at least in the sense of Gwar, but how do you feel when something becomes so big that you've reached a pinnacle that there really is no way? So in a case of like Odorous Urungus dying, they either had the choice of just ending it when they still could have momentum and still play years of shows and have a good time and keep that tradition alive for young kids getting into music that maybe are 14 years old that want to get ballsack juice sprayed in their face, and don't get to experience that because Gwar's now done, or they keep it going and they find the best replacement they can, someone who was a friend of theirs, who kind of stepped in but certainly is not Odorous. I mean, what are the feelings, not just with Gwar, but with any band, once you lose that pivotal member? I mean, even look at bands like Journey. They picked up the Philippine guy. He sounds the same for the most part, but it's never going to be the same. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on trying to keep something that big going once you lose that pivotal piece?
For me, I would say it kind of comes down to how big of a fan you are of that particular band. Like, I would never take anything away from Journey. It's classic music, as far as anyone else is concerned. So having, the new guy there, he pulls off the vocals. That doesn't bug me too much. However, if you were the biggest Journey fan on planet Earth, it probably bugs you quite a bit. So, I mean, in the case of Gwar, Jay's definitely the bigger fan than I. I've only seen Gwar like 2 or 3 times. But, I mean, at least from the videos I've seen, cell phone videos of the new Gwar, it definitely doesn't seem to be the same thing. So I can understand Jay's dismay. I get that. For me, I would say it's something like, I don't know, if you go to something like I said, it kind of comes down to how big of a fan you are. Like, had Dimebag been killed when Pantera was still touring regularly, that would not have made any sense to go on ahead. I mean, to other people, maybe it would have, but I mean, so I guess I'm just getting down to, like, it's just about how big of a fan you are. Like, I bring up the Pantera example. If you're not the biggest Pantera fan and Dimebag dies, maybe it's not that big of a deal to you. So I think it really just kind of comes down to how much, you grew up with that band. That's kind of directly going to influence how much you care about it.
Well, like, look at AC/DC. Like, when Bon Scott died, he got replaced, and it wasn't that much of a difference. I don't know. I guess it just depends on how much the influence of that member made.
Yes, I was just about to say that. It really depends. So, as Matt said, if Dimebag, when Dimebag passed, there was no replacing that member.
No.
But AC/DC did pull it off. They were able to replace, and it did have a little bit of a different sound, but both old and not new anymore, but new AC/DC at the time still was badass, and people were like, all right, fuck yeah, we love this. There was no changeover. Whereas I think that, as you said, it depends on the influence of that member. Journey felt that they could get a guy who doesn't speak English but can sing their songs to a T. And,
well, look at fucking CCR, man.
Yeah.
Without John Fogerty, CCR isn't shit, dude. They literally got in like a legal battle about that, and John Fogerty was like, "Dude, I am CCR." It's
that really brings up a good point. Where's the defining lines of what can be replaced, what can't? Sometimes bands have replaced and done well. Sometimes bands have replaced and it's really fucked them up. Where fans are like, man, these guys suck now.
Look at that Denver death metal band, Angelic Desolation. Like, their vocalist can't be replaced.
Well, to be fair though, you guys are badass. So I mean, if you were to get replaced, Jay, I don't know. Here's the thing with metal, and I think that's one of the genres, when you talk death metal. I mean, if you're talking actual singing and things, which I'm not saying you're not a singer, certainly you are, but I'm saying when it gets to death metal vocals.
I'm not a singer. I do vocals. I make sounds with my throat.
Well, I try not to offend anybody when I say when you get to actual singing, not to say that you're not actually singing, but when you get to vocals, death metal does carry its own strange essence to it because, once again, though, I've seen death metal bands replace their vocalist, and even though the new vocalist might be a dope vocalist, it just doesn't jive. I've seen other people replace singers, and you would never know the difference, or it is a different band, but you're like, all right. For instance, my old singer of my band became the vocalist of Rings of Saturn, and Rings of Saturn were and are a dope band. But when you compare Ian Bear, their vocalist now, and then who was in my band, to their old vocalist, I mean, them losing their old vocalist and switching over to Ian was the best damn move that they ever made. So, they were known, they were touring, they were big, they had a lot of fans. They lost their vocalist, and a lot of people were like, oh, we don't even know if we're going to listen to these guys anymore. And then Ian stepped in and just fucking destroyed it, and everybody's like, oh, wow. And it was a smart move. So it just really depends, on the situation. So it's always an interesting topic to think of, where's the lines drawn between what should be done and isn't done, what can be done and can't be.
I think you said what also goes with like the flow of the band too, Like you gotta have that connection within the band too.
Well, someone just dropped a comment. There's been a few comments. I'll read some of these off. Someone said, I'd never been to Mr. Smalls, oddly enough, talking about the club here in Pittsburgh. Gathering the Juggalos is the craziest experience ever. It is, and I'm going to tell one more quick story of that in a second. And then someone said, poop dollar, and exclamation marks. And then we have Arch Enemy. Arch Enemy is a good point. So Arch Enemy, I thought, was a dope group with their original singer. And when they got rid of her and got another one, I was skeptical. I don't know. of the gentleman who left a comment, I don't know his opinion or anybody else's. I actually think they're still a pretty dope group. I think even losing her, they are still dope.
They're still tearing it up. Yeah, definitely.
I don't listen to them like I used to with the original singer, I'll be honest with you, but that's not because they're not good. It's just because there's so much music that you can't listen to at all. So I have respect for them, but I just don't jam a whole lot of Arch Enemy. But much love to them. Now, real quick, I'll tell one more story, and then we're going to jump into the first track of the evening. So Gathering of the Juggalos comment says, Gathering of the Juggalos is the craziest experience ever. Now, obviously, it's been going on for a very long time, 20-plus years. I finally went to one, a handful of years ago. I drove there by myself. I stayed there for the 4 days by myself. I came home by myself. And when I was there, luckily there was a Pittsburgh camp. So there was a bunch of people from Pittsburgh that all set up in one hillside together. And I didn't know most of them, but there was a few that I did, had acquaintances with. So I get there. I pull up. I get out and I walk to this tent that you have to check in at, get your wristband and everything to get into the festival. I paid the extra $100 to be able to park my car near my tent so that I wouldn't be like 1,800 football fields away. Because I knew I was going to need shit all weekend and I was by myself, so I had to kind of fend for myself, which I do a lot of solo missions. So I walk around the tent and I mean, we're talking 10 seconds into the festival. I pull up, I walk around the tent. As soon as I turn the corner, there's about a 280, 290-pound woman butt naked just standing there. And, I mean, that's fine.
290 pounds?
She was a big girl. No, here's the thing.
Did you fuck her?
I did not, no. But I turned a corner, and, I mean, it kind of surprised me. I mean, I was like, oh, shit, okay. So, I mean, no harm, no foul, whatever. She's doing her thing. But, I mean, it just kind of takes you by storm when it's 12 o'clock in the morning or, 11 o'clock in the morning. What's that?
Did she have clown paint on?
She didn't. She was kind of standing out herself. She should have. It might have fit more.
Okay, I understand the past. Keep going.
But here's where it gets crazy. So I was like, okay. So I walk by her. I got my tickets. And she's just standing there by the guys giving out the tickets. I mean, no rhyme or reason. She's just there. So I'm sure the guys that were working there were really having a good time. Just sitting there and having to, stare at this chick for fucking hours. But so I walk up, I get my wristband, I get in my car, I drive down the hill. There's hundreds of people walking all over the place. I'm just trying to get past them to get to where I need to go to park. As I come down to the bottom of the hill, we step the game up a little bit to about a 450-pound woman, butt naked, two chains, holding two pit bulls. And I'm like, no, that is some shit that you do not see. People would say that's not something you see every day. No, that's not something you see ever in your life. That's a unicorn. I mean, I come down. This is one of the biggest women I've ever seen in my life, and she is walking around proudly strutting her stuff, holding two chains with two enormous pit bulls. And I'm like, wow, I am in a whole different fucking world right now. And I knew at that exact moment that this was about to be the craziest 4-day span of my life, and it was. And then next thing I know, I'm driving through, and I do see a guy I know. Randomly enough, okay, there's a dude I know. Where the fuck did he come from? He runs by me, and I put down my window, and I'm like, hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. He doesn't pay attention. He just keeps running around. About a football field later, I see his girlfriend at the time. She waves me down. She's seen me. She runs over and jumps in my car. She's like, you need to help me, man. I'm like, what's going on? I seen Mark. He didn't answer. She says he ate 32 hits of LSD. She's like, and he's fucking going crazy. I'm like, I said he ate 32 hits. She said he ate 32 hits and he's off his rocker. I'm like, well, no shit. So
dude,
we had to wrangle him back in. We eventually found him. It was like chasing down, I don't even know what the hell you'd say. It was like chasing down. It was like chasing down a fucking leopard. And we tried for hours to catch him. And finally we gave up. I was at my vehicle that luckily enough I was able to park near my tent because I was one of the only ones. And I'm over there getting in my vehicle and I look up and he's just standing there in the middle of the road staring at me. And I'm like, Mark. And he goes, can you help me get back home? Like in a little kid's voice. And this guy has a very deep, like been smoking way too many Newports for way too many years voice. And he says it in the cutest little kid voice. And I hadn't talked to him this whole day so far. He's like, can you help me get back home? And I was like, come on, little buddy. I says, I'll take you back home. And I took him up to the campground. He slept for like a day and a half. But that was my initial first couple hours at the gathering. So, I mean, for anybody listening out there that's been there, they know. If you haven't been there, you know now too. But before we go any further, someone just dropped a comment and said, that's Gathering of the Juggalos for you. That certainly is. So before we go any further, we're going to drop into one of the tracks for this evening, and it's up to you, gentlemen, but I was going to drop in with I can't ever fucking say your guys' names. It's always crazy. Necropotamus. How do you say it?
No, see, hippos already hunt humans. So if you have zombie hippos, you're in a world of shit.
So it would be I can't say it.
Necropotamus.
Okay, so I was going with like Necropolis, but Necropotamus. Okay, I got you. Necropotamus. Necropotamus, ladies and gentlemen. So right after this, we'll be back, but this is Angelic Desolation's Necropotamus here on Uncovering the Underground. We'll be right back. right, guys, we're back on Uncovering the Underground Radio Podcast show. We've been hanging out for the last 40 minutes with Angelic Desolation from Colorado. They are a Razorgrind band, which would be a mixture of death metal and grindcore. We've been having some great, fun conversations. We have many listeners out there tuning in. So once again, if you check us out on Spreaker.com or through the Spreaker app, you can not only listen to the show, but you can leave comments and questions for the band, engage with us, and we will read them out during the show live on the air. And if not, then you can also listen anywhere you want to listen to. That's fine. If you were just tuning in now or just recently, don't fret. Listen to the rest of the show live, and then after it's done, you can go back and stream it. You can download it to your device for on the go, whatever you prefer. But right now it is live, so you have to listen to it till the end to catch the beginning. So I say listen to it twice just to have fun with it. But we have been hanging out. That song is Necropotamus, and I kept wanting to call it Necropotamus. So I'm going to go with that. That is Necropotamus from Angelic Desolation. So, but no, that's good stuff, man. That's we have some comments came in and they're like, "This shit's dope. This is a killer song." And that's it. One of the comments I sent out there was just listen to the technicality. Your guys' time signatures and speed just gets me, man.
No, thank you very much. We, like I said, we try not to take ourselves too seriously, but we like to make it enjoyable for the listener while you're laughing if you read the lyrics.
How do your fans react live to you guys? Because I mean, it's just chaos. It's just so technical, so fast, so in your face. I mean, Razorgrind is truthfully a great branding of it, because even though that's your guys' own term, that fits it. Like when I hear Razorgrind and I hear your music, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking Razorgrind.
No, that's it was actually there's a band that is not around anymore. There was another local band here in Denver, and they're the ones who gave us that moniker, and we just kind of ran with it. And I guess that's more or less what it is. Like there's the structure of grindcore where it's just kind of in your face and fast, but there's like that precision and the technicality there where it's not like just we try to not be super dirty with, as far as the guitar riffs go, like there's precise stuff going on. So the fact, when they said razor sharp grindcore, I'm like, all right, I like that. We're running with it.
No, that actually makes sense.
When we play in front of people, I mean, we can get a room bumping.
Yeah, you'd have to, we have videos on YouTube of our release show from back in 2018 when we put our last full length. In that video, there's two members who aren't in the band anymore, but the point I'm getting at is that that's probably your best example to see what we do live. Like during that show, we actually had a girl on stage. We were doing live abortions. We just had like a trash bag full of these bloody babies, and we have we make like umbilical cords out of masking tape. Just kind of run them like anywhere from 3 to 6 feet long, douse them in fake blood, have a zombie alien-looking doctor come abort the children, swing them around your head, hit you in the face with a baby. Kids, if the umbilical cord is long enough, I've seen some of our younger fans take the umbilical cord and run it through their belt loops and use it as a belt. So we try to get pretty crazy, but simultaneously try to make it so we don't get banned from the venue, because we can use a lot of blood sometimes.
Well, I think you sparked someone's interest, because we just had a comment that dropped that says, I will definitely be checking that video out. So someone's very excited about the onstage abortions. They're very excited for it. So have at it. Check the video out. You will love it. Now, I have a question from a listener that just came in, and it said, let me read it off. What is the two of their worst live experiences that they've had?
So for me, I would say this is years ago. There's a strip club that no longer does live music, but we played there. We're doing our show, and Jay's dad happened to be at the show as well, and he, rightly so, he was like, if you guys are playing at a strip club, I'm paying for strippers to be on the stage. And so we had two girls dancing on stage while we were playing, and the girl who's behind me decides to start stepping on power chords and completely debilitated my entire rig in the middle of our set. And I didn't, I may have said some harsh words. I would never hit that woman, but boy did I want to. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, there's nothing that really hits you harder than when you're deep in the moment of your musical performance and it comes to a halt. I had that happen, not necessarily with my band, though we had moments over the years, in the many years that we played together, but when I was doing my hip-hop, stuff for years, I had a show where a guy was wasted. I mean, I didn't know this guy, and he came up front, and I don't know what the fuck was wrong with this guy, but he, while standing in place, then Supermaned forward with 2 cups of beer and dumped them both right into my MacBook. And I mean, but it wasn't even close to him. Like, you had to deliberately try to do this. This guy literally jumped like 4 feet forward and dumped both cups, slammed his face into the subwoofer, and then like started rolling around on the ground. And I lost it on him. I mean, it was pretty much one of those situations where I'm like, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to get your shit and get out of this building, or you're never going to leave this building. In fact, I think that's verbatim what I said to him.
Where was this?
This was a tiny little venue called the Horse Trough, and it was just this little packed side hole shithole bar that was fun to play at. And
I haven't been there, so that's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't you, no. And what I ended up finding out too, which was crazy, is this guy had just been released from jail. About 3 days prior that, or 2 days prior. I think it was like one of his first couple of days out of jail, and he was released from jail for rape. And
shit, yeah, that wasn't me.
It was like his first outing after getting released out of jail, his first outing, and he got shit-faced and whatever. I don't know. There's obviously something mentally wrong with the guy to begin with, but he dumped his shit into my $1,400 MacBook and ruined it. And like I said, it was crazy because I wasn't so much worried about me hurting him. I was worried about my fans because I had a very devout following. And I told that guy, like, you have a minute to get out of this building or you probably never will leave this building. Well, and the craziest stuff happened. He ran out with the people he was with. He left his jacket. I mean, this dude wasn't playing. He's seen it. He was like, oh shit, this guy's serious. He ran out the building, went and got in his car. Well, my fans turned on him, and people started going out of the bar and welling bottles at it. They smashed out the car's windows. The car almost went over a hillside. They were chasing them down the road, trying to drag him out of the car. I mean, it got real. I mean, and it was just this wild situation that it was just like, that was one of my personal worst moments that has ever happened on stage. Now, Jay, what about you?
So just real quick, so we used to have like rivalries with other bands. We had rando members that were our friends that would like start shit and literally start fights in like the middle of our sets, and like the other bands, the fights would break out and the other bands would like stop playing and be like, hey guys, calm down. Every time that shit happened when we played, we kind of just went with it. We're like, yeah, kill each other. Sweet.
Sometimes you have to, man.
Yeah, I guess honestly, like one of the worst shit that happened to me was I had to fly to El Paso, Texas, because of a death of a grandmother. That's not why this is bad experience. What happened was that the day that I flew back, literally, I went from the airport to the venue that we were playing, which was at Kuma's. I went to the venue immediately, like half an hour after I got there, had to get on stage, and my fucking lungs were not ready for the elevation. And, like, we did one song, and I was like, I can't breathe. And, like, we still had, like, 6 more songs to do, dude. And on top of that, like, I was getting hair, like, in my throat, so I almost threw up. Like, that was, like, one of the worst fucking stage experiences of my life. Like, I couldn't breathe, like, after the set. And the air conditioning broke, so it was also, like, super fucking warm where we were. And, yeah, that really fucking sucks.
And for the people listening out there, if you're not wondering, or if you are wondering, why would he have trouble breathing? What state are they in? If you missed the beginning, they're from Colorado. So if anybody's ever traveled to Colorado and you're not from Colorado, I mean, the elevation difference is going to cause some weird things to happen to you. You might get a little lightheaded. You might have trouble breathing at first, especially depending upon the elevation of where you are at in Colorado.
Yeah, I flew from San Antonio to Denver, which is already a mile high. And then like a half an hour after I arrived at the venue, I would be on stage. And yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it, man. I mean, it's definitely a different atmosphere there as far as elevation and trying to breathe. I got to be honest with you, though. I'm envious of you guys because I have traveled quite a bit in my life, and my one of two favorite places is Colorado. I love it. I think it is a beautiful state. I think there's so much natural beauty there, from Red Rocks Amphitheater to Garden of the Gods to Seven Sisters to just riding up to the top of the mountain on the old cog train. I mean, there's so much cool shit to do in Colorado, and there's just so much natural beauty. Now, if you live there, you're just like, yeah, I live here, man. But like, if you're not from there, especially if you're from Pennsylvania, a very green, wooded area, it's all forest, and you go to somewhere where it's all mountains and it's just beautiful like that, it's a great change. So much love to you guys for being from Colorado. Great place. I want to come back someday. I loved it there when I was there.
Oh yeah, much appreciated. And kind of continuing on the elevation train, there was once upon a time, years and years ago, the death metal band Dying Fetus was coming through town, and they had a sign up. It was just like, we will trade weed. This is before weed was legal here, but it was like, we will trade weed for merch. We're out of weed. And I just talked to the guys. I was like, look, I own a lot of your merch. Like, I kind of just want to smoke with you guys. And so I got to smoke with Dying Fetus, went and told the guys, like, later, losers, I'm going to go get Dying Fetus high. And
I was in that show. Yeah, I was the loser. You told me to fuck off.
But after I got done, Dying Fetus hits the stage, and it was kind of a train wreck for the first few minutes. They were doing pretty bad. And I was just laughing, smiling. It was all my fault.
Got Dying Fetus high.
That reminds me, and I remember Dying Fetus, man. I mean, I think I still even play from time to time, but I remember them from being, younger in my young teens when they came out. And they always had the most extreme stuff. I mean, I remember being like 13 years old and clicking on a track and the shit that they would have in their audio clips at the beginning of their songs. And I'm like, whoa. Like,
man, the first song I ever heard of them was "Kill Your Mother, Rape Your Dog." I was like, all right, I'm sold on that.
I remember that track, actually, yeah. So they were always pretty hardcore and extreme. I would listen to them around the same time that I came across Napalm Death. And
Napalm Death,
another classic.
Old school.
I got to see Napalm Death one night at Peabody's, which no longer exists in Ohio. And it's a great venue for shows. It's a shame. I mean, that was a staple for the metal community in Cleveland, Ohio. And I got to see them. It was a weird lineup. It was them, A Life Once Lost, Dead to Fall, and I'm trying to think who else was there. I can't remember. I think, their name's escaping me right now. It begins with an A, but they're another extreme death metal band. But great show. And I remember that show was funny because my buddy was there, and this was like way before cell phones got as big as they are now. And he pulled out a cell phone and was like texting on it, 15 buttons to say hello. And, back those days where you like literally had to like, hi. And the singer of A Life Once Lost wasn't, or it might have been Dead to Fall, it was one or the other, I can't remember, wasn't too happy about him being on his phone, so he snatched it mid-song and tried to pull it from my buddy, but my buddy was like really connected to his phone, so he wasn't having it. And in the middle of their set, he just drops the mic, he's no longer singing, and it's him and my buddy, front row, yanking back and forth on this fight, and got into this like tussle over this phone, and like the whole crowd's just like watching the band kill it, but watching the singer and this dickhead in the front, which was my buddy, fight over this cell phone. And I'm just standing there and I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then Napalm Death came on next, and I mean, I was pretty young at the time, but I mean, they came on and I had heard them a little bit, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to get into. And they were great for what they were. I was never a huge Napalm Death fan, but I respected their music. But it was awesome to be that young and see one of these old heads of death metal. I mean, they came out and I'm like, all right, once again, we were young. We were 16 driving 4 hours to, Cleveland, Ohio to go see all these death metal bands all the time.
Yeah, man.
No, that's some staying power because they're still around today. And like you said, you saw them when you were 16 and they were around before then too.
Yeah. I mean, I seen them 18 plus years ago. I mean, it's crazy to think of. There was a lot of great shows in Cleveland. I remember seeing, Devil Driver out there and got my nose broken in the pit, fucking shattered. This dude headbutted me full force in the face. My nose exploded like a water balloon. And after the show, I snuck past the barricades in the security to Devil Driver's trailer, and they're all standing there cooking steaks and hamburgers. And then the security ran over and grabbed me, and I was like trying to get to Dez, and he ended up waving him off and saying, let him go. And the dude ended up sitting with me, cracking beers with me, drinking with me. Me and all of Devil Driver had hamburgers, and we were eating, and he legitly cooked me food. And he's like, here you go, brother. And my buddy was so pissed because I tried to get him to come past the barricades, and he wouldn't. And I went back there, and he had to sit out there for like 2 hours while I partied with Devil Driver. And once again, I was like 16 years old. So I'm 16 years old, wasted, drinking Devil Driver's beer and eating their fucking delicious hamburgers. I don't know what kind of hamburgers these assholes had, but they were amazing. They were like Omaha steak burgers. I don't know. They were good.
So we played Summer Slaughter with Cannibal Corpse.
That's awesome.
Nile. And
huge bill. 2016 Summer Slaughter.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah, we played with them. I got a pass that said I could be backstage, and fucking, I told, she's my wife now. She was my girlfriend at the time, but I was like, don't you dare fangirl when you see other bands. And I ended up fangirling, being like, oh my god, oh my god, it's not the guy. Like I freaked the fuck out. Anyway, we had a friend, I'm doing blow with them, high as fuck on fucking coke. Eventually, towards the end of the night, I'm like, I'm going to go see Cannibal Corpse because they're my friends because we're in the same show now. And fucking rush backstage. And so I'm expecting a bunch of shit going on, deli trays, lobsters, I don't know, what the fuck, whatever is going on. I go back there, I rush past the guards and I go down and it's just Cannibal Corpse. There's no one else. And I don't know what to say, so all I do is put up horns. And then the fucking security guard just grabs my ass and pulls me back upstairs.
That's awesome. You went back there thinking it was going to be, something amazing, and then all these people partying, and all you see is, depending upon what time period you were there, all you see is Chris Barnes or George Fisher standing back there, just fucking,
This was Fisher. This was Pat. This was 2016. This is 2016, and it's just Cannibal Corpse. No one else is there. Not even fucking assistants. And I froze.
People were afraid to hang out with them. And no one goes backstage with Cannibal Corpse. They're afraid.
No, I just all I did was slowly put up horns. It was Cannibal, and boom, security guard just grabbed my ass.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? No, okay, so let's put it in the girl's perspective. Girl goes to a concert. She's young. Maybe she's even not young. I want to go backstage and meet these bands. I'm really excited to meet some of these guys. Maybe see if we can hook up. And then Cannibal Corpse comes out and they're like, this song is called "Fucked with a Knife." And you're like, okay, I want to go home now. I don't want to go backstage anymore. I don't want to meet these guys. No. You see Chris Barnes' big fucking neck. That's awesome. Well, folks, before we go in any further, let's jump into our second song of the night. Maybe I can pronounce this one. I think I can pronounce this one a little bit better than Necropotamus. This one here is called Yeti Spaghetti, and we'll be right back after these messages. This is Angelic Desolation on Uncovering the Underground. All right, guys, we're back on Uncovering the Underground radio show, and we are hanging out this evening with Angelic Desolation. That was their track, Yeti Spaghetti. That one I can say. The one earlier was Necropotamus, though I like to call it Necropolis. It's just funner to say that way. Now, Necropotamus. They just need to start. The name's changed now. It can never be the same again. Your fans are going to be like, wait a second, I thought it was Necropotamus. You're like, no, bitch, it's Necropolis. And that's a fact. So, you know, we were talking about what our worst moments were on stage, and someone wanted to know, and we won't go too deep into it because I have a few more questions I want to pound out before we finish this evening. But someone says, well, then if that's their worst moments, we would like to know what is their favorite moments that each of them have had on stage. So if you don't mind sharing, Jay, we'll start out with you. What was your favorite moment that you can remember live on stage?
One of my favorite moments is we played a show where I was trying to have like a bucket with a pump that was pumping blood, and it malfunctioned, and that didn't happen. So out of panic, I just dipped my hair in the bucket and spread blood around. Whilst I was doing that, a young lady from the crowd threw her bra on stage at me. And I don't think these were D's, but they were not D's, so I'm going to say they were C's. I dipped her bra in the bucket of blood and just spun that around as well. It was a fucking party. Night.
Sounds like it got to be a little bit of a wild time.
Yes. We were never allowed to play there again.
It was a great night. We never were allowed back.
But that was fun. I've never had like women's clothing thrown at me before.
Yeah, it's a good thing. When that starts happening, you're like, oh shit, okay, it's getting real now.
Yeah, like I was like really flat. I think I smelled it before I dipped it in the thing.
That's all right. I mean, any good man should.
Yeah, boobs are boobs, man. Sweaty or not, you know.
Yeah, I don't care. That was a fun night. Like I said, I've never done that after that. I've never dipped my hair in a bucket of blood and spun it around. March 19th, the Roxy. Maybe. We'll see.
Talking about March 19th, and we'll get back with you here in a moment, Matt. I mean, you brought it up, so let's segue into it real quick, Jay. I mean, March 19th, you guys have a pretty big show coming up. Tell us a little bit about that, and then, Matt, we'll recap back with you on your favorite moment.
So I'll probably answer this.
You're talking to me.
I know. Well, all right, let's see who's on the bill. Let's see if Jay knows.
All right, so March 19th, it's us, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, Death, Obituary,
Wow.
Apothecary, all the Aries are going to be there. It's going to be a sick fuck show, man. All right, go, Matt.
Jay is technologically inept, so he's never up on the flyers or anything like that, or any of the show details. That's always falls in my lap. But yeah,
I also live in my own world.
Saturday, March 19th here in Denver. There's the Defeated Sanity and Skeletal Remains tours coming through. So those two bands, along with Vitriol and Splatter, we're getting to open up for that tour package here in about 9 days. So 2 Saturdays away. So that should be a really killer time.
Okay. No, that's awesome, man. It sounds like it's going to be a hell of a show. I think you guys will have some fun. It's nice to see shows returning. Shows have been going on with COVID, but I mean, it's starting to get to a point where the immediateness of the holidays that really crushed everybody has kind of simmered down. A lot of people have gotten their vaccinations at this point. It's kind of slowly started to kind of dissipate, thinking that, maybe by next year, shows will be back. I mean, and I know shows are back now, but I'm saying like shows will be back where we can go to festivals, where we can do things, and things are, for the most part, starting to return mainly to normal. And I really look forward to that. So I'm happy to see these great shows happening in the intermediateness of that. Because we're starting to get headway back towards a normal life again. Because God, man, I'm going 2 years without really seeing shows. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 shows I've seen, but that's it in a 2-year period. And I mean, normally I see like 30-some shows a year, and it's been tough. So it's good to see that there's good shows happening. Tours are happening again. You guys are getting back out there. You're playing and getting your name out there. Now let's recap real quick, Matt. What is your favorite moment?
So I would actually bring it back to that 2016 Summer Slaughter tour that we got to open up for here in Denver, and getting there, 6 hours ahead of time, talking with all the stage hands, and they're giving you instructions what you're going to be doing. So you've got a lot of free time on your hands before you actually hit the stage. And so me, I'm a huge Cannibal Corpse fan, probably the first death metal band that I got into in high school. And so seeing them, just kind of walking around, talking with them was a good time, but specifically their drummer, Paul, I was talking with him before we hit the stage. We were sitting there warming up, 30 minutes before we're about to go on, and just talking to him and just kind of, not really fangirling out, but just kind of letting him know how awesome it is that, when you start a band, a death metal band, and you finally get to open up for one of the bands that really got you even started in the whole thing, that's a huge honor. And I just kind of told him in so many words, like, dude, it would mean everything on earth to me if I could see you, if you're just like there and you just want to check out one of our songs. Like, I know you got shit to do. You're Cannibal. I'm just some local band. You can tell me you don't care. That's fine too. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind checking us out, man, it would mean everything in the world. And so as we're playing on stage and you just kind of look over to stage left, and Paul's just sitting there in his sandals and his arms crossed, head bobbing, listening to our song. So just to see, that was it, like, the way, even just talking about it now, like, gives me a little bit of goosebumps just to look over and see someone that you've, a member of a band that you've looked up to for so many years actually getting down to your music. There's a phenomenal feeling.
No, I get that, man, for certain. I wasn't on I was on the bill that was about to happen, but I was at a show, and several headliners in the hip-hop side, were there, and I had stood in the hallway with a gentleman, and And, he's like, oh, yeah, you having a good time? I said, oh, yeah, I'm having a great time. How about you? He says, oh, absolutely. I says, I'm just kind of waiting around to play this evening. He says, oh, you're on the bill tonight. And I couldn't really see the guy. He had a hoodie up. And I says, yeah, I'm one of the artists on the bill tonight. He says, what's your name? I says, oh, I'm Skippy Ickham, man. I'm a local artist here from Pittsburgh. And he says, you're Skippy Ickham. I said, yeah. He said, no, shit, man. He's like, come with me real quick. And I'm like, all right. I didn't know who the guy was. All of a sudden, we go past security and we go back into the VIP section. We go down these stairs into the basement. And he ended up being Lex the Hexmaster from Magic Ninja Entertainment from Twisted's label. And we go downstairs and there's Young Wicked, there's the Axe Murder Boys, there's there's Scum, there's all these other dudes. And he was telling me on the way down, he's like, bro, we're all a huge fan of you. And I was opening for them on their tour, and I was like, oh, you're a fan of mine? He's like, dude, on the way here, he says, we actually listened to all 3 of your albums. He says, that's what we've listened to for like the last 4 hours on the drive to Pittsburgh. And I'm like, you're fucking with me, right? He says, oh, no, bro. He says, we're all a huge fan of yours, man. We're honored to be able to be playing with you this evening. And meanwhile, it's an honor to play with them. So I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So we go down in the back room, and he opens up the door, and there's all these other headliners, in the room. And he's like, hey, man, he's like, I got Skippy Ickham with me. And they're all like, oh, no shit, man, we're huge fans of yours. And he just got done telling me that. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And then we come and we start taking shots together. We're smoking. We're having a good time. And it just ended up being a lot of love in the room for each other and respect for each other that has lasted years since then and beyond. But that was one of those cool moments that it was just like, wow, I thought these dudes' music was dope. It was an honor to play with them. And then to find out that they're listening to 3 of my albums on the drive to Pittsburgh, I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't know these dudes even really knew who the fuck I was. And we formed some friendships with that. I mean, I don't talk to some of those guys now, but I still have respect for them. But like Scum, is an old cat in the horrorcore scene. Me and Scum still talk from time to time.
I went to high school with Scummy, bro.
Oh, you went to high school? No shit.
He went to high school with Scummy. He's actually one of the reasons I think we didn't get our ass kicked at the Roxy once.
Okay, Scum. Ivan's a good dude, man. He's
yeah. So we played at the Roxy, and they were like, don't get any blood on the speakers, and
you got blood on the speakers, didn't you?
Got blood on the speakers. It was like the security was like on the phone and looking at us and like pointing at me, and I was like, fuck, dude. I'm wondering to this day if anybody can answer me. I'm wondering if he talked to Scum and Scummy was like, hey, were they cool? And if he's like, well, yeah, they were cool, but like didn't fucking let him go. Because, like, after he did that, he just, like, hung up the phone and didn't fuck with us the rest of the night.
Well, he has a lot to do with that venue, and he books, well, he used to at least, I don't know about anymore, but he used to book festivals every year for Horrorcore Underground out at the Roxy, so that would make sense.
Gummy, dude, like, small world, man.
Yeah, man, small world. Good dude. I mean, he's been around the horrorcore scene forever, and like I said, it was an honor to get to hear that he was a fan of mine like I was of his, so that's what's up. We have some comments coming in. Says, Scum owns the Roxy. Well, then that makes sense right there then, Chris. I didn't know if he owns it. I just knew he had a lot to do with the Roxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a comment that says, Scum owns the Roxy, so yeah, probably. So no, much shout out to Ivan, or a.k.a. Scum. Great underground horrorcore artist, and
Scum is the man, dude. I love that guy.
And his group, Make My Motherfucking Day, MMFD. Hard to say that. They're really dope with him and Insane Poetry. Another really old school cat of horrorcore, one of the original guys doing that scene, which is now old. I mean, the horrorcore's been around for 30 years now, but these guys were starting it out.
Dude, you have a fucking. Like, it's weird. Like, if you think that, like, living in a simulation, like, the shit that you've experienced with other bands makes you seem like the main character. 'Cause my ass is definitely a side character when it comes to other bands.
It's weird, man. It's all weird. It's all a simulation, man. We're living in the Matrix, brother. You should tune into one of my other 2 shows. We'll get deep on the metaphysics behind the fact that this is all not real and we're not even here right now.
Real quick. Tell you about the time I met George Fisher. It was me, my buddy Chris, and it was Sounds of the Underground, and he was like fresh off the bus. Like normally, Cannibal Corpse plays in all black. They were so hungover they just wore whatever the fuck they came off the bus with.
They were great on that tour too. It was Behemoth. It was Cannibal Corpse. It was the rapper Necro. It was a bunch of other cats. As I Lay Dying was there that year. I seen that tour.
Sounds of the Underground. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. It was a good time.
So we were there. We got Cannibal Corpse autograph, but we got everybody except for George Fisher. So we eventually saw him get off the bus, and he looked hungover and not in the mood. And we saw him, and me and my friend were like, dude. So we're like, Corpse Grinder. And he's like, not answering. We're like, George. And he fucking looks at me and my friend and goes, fuck. And he's like, he's not happy to see us. We're like, hey, going to autograph. He's like, you got to get in line. The line to get his autograph is like 1,000,000 miles long. He's like, unless you got a pen on you. So my buddy goes and grabs a pen from like a survey table, and it's like on the chain, rips it off the chain and brings it back. So I have a ticket with Corpse Grinder's autograph on the other side of my ticket from that show. And the whole time I'm there, my buddy's like, dude, like, don't let him out of your sight. And Paul, the drummer, comes up and he's like, hey man, what's up? And I was like, I already got your autograph. That's what I said to him. Like a dick.
Yeah, man, I don't need to talk to you anymore. You already gave me your autograph, so you can go now.
I need you, man. And I'm just standing there staring at Corpse Grinder. And then, like, in my little fucking, what was I, like 21? My little 21-year-old mind, I'm like, you are 6 feet tall. And then, like, years later, figured out Corpse Grinder's, like, not that much taller than me.
Well, have you ever seen, I like Cannibal Corpse, don't get me wrong, but have you ever seen Chris Barnes' band Torture Killer, or listened to Torture Killer?
Yeah.
Their album, Torture Killer Swarm, is one of my favorite old school death metal albums of all time. It's the pinnacle of just old school brutal death metal. So much love to Chris Barnes and for that specific album, because there was many teenage years that I just sat in my room and blasted some Swarm, and the cover art of that album is some weird fucking, it's like a dude tied to a tree being eaten by bugs.
Oh yeah.
It's fucked up, and I'm like, man, this is just, I'm feeling this. Like when you're a young teenager and you're like a death metal teenager and you feel like the fucking world's against you, and you're like, yeah, we all were. And you see that album artwork and you listen to the music, you're like, this guy understands me. No one probably understands you, but you feel like that guy understands you. And that's how Torture Killer was for me. The first time I came across that, I'm like, these dudes get it.
That's a big thing that, like, I try to bring to the band is, like, I try to keep with the technicality of the band and, like, how, like, crazy the riffs are, but I also want to keep it somewhat old school death metal, because that's what I grew up on, man.
Nothing wrong with that, man. That's why I think probably why I like you guys, man. I mean, there's the technicality, there's the new edge, but there's also the old feel. There's the seriousness, but there's also the humor. It brings in all the elements I like, and that's, I think, why I feel it so much. And yes, guys, I am talking these guys up more than other bands I've had on the show, because I like them more than a lot of the other bands I had in the show. It's nothing against those other bands. It's just that this is my flavor. So I have a couple more questions I have to ask that I ask every band, and then what we'll do is we'll actually finish out the night with the third song, which, one of the comments earlier said Cyborg Vampire is one of the dopest tracks I've heard in years. So that's what we're going to finish out with this evening, folks. But before we get to that, we have 3 important questions, 2 of which are what I ask a lot of guests, one of which is a newer question this season, which is a little bit morbid, and we're going to find out. Now, the first one is going to be that...
For the Rams, I thought the Rams should have won the Super Bowl, so that's pretty good.
We're not getting into that. I'm avoiding that conversation. So, if you had all the time back that you've spent into music, every moment of every note, every vocal, every lyric, everything, that you spent live in the studio, just all of your career as a musician back right now. I'm a genie and I just gave it all back to you. But you had to put it into one other passion of yours aside from music. What would it be? Now, I'm actually going to jump to you first, Matt. What would you put all of your time into if you had one other outlet to put that into?
I've actually talked about this before, so it's probably a pretty easy thing for me to answer. I'm pretty. I mean, I have no formal education in the matter, but I have quite a bit of books regarding quantum physics and just the nature of our reality and the multiple dimensions. I am a frequent cosmonaut, whether it's doses or mushrooms or DMT. I enjoy it thoroughly, so I definitely feel, had I not been infected with the guitar playing bug, I probably would have gone just balls deep into that realm, whether it would have been, in astronomy or whether it would have been like to be, I mean, that field has so many different job titles that you could go into, but I have a very strong conviction to learning more, not even more, but as much as I can, regarding quantum physics. I find that entire realm extremely entertaining. I feel like there's just, I mean, it's a constantly developing academic venture, essentially. So, I mean, just the fact that we're kind of discovering new things all the time is just in the nature of reality. And then taking all that book knowledge for all the, however many hundreds of books I read on the matter, and then just going balls deep and, 10 doses and sitting there for a day and a half and just kind of thinking about reality and the possibility of a simulation. Like, I can get pretty deep into that stuff. So for me, I'd probably say I would have gone somewhere into the quantum physics realm, 100%.
Now, I respect that because it's a deep field. There's a lot that you can get into with it, and it's a great field to be a part of. And I'm going to do a shameless plug real quick because that actually leads perfect into something that I can throw out there. Anybody listening out there within the Pennsylvania area or close vicinity, August 13th, there is Hillcon Paranormal Convention. So Hillview Manor is a very haunted location. It's one of my favorite in the world that I do investigations at. It has a massive amount of activity that happens there. I mean, it's off the charts. Some of the best names in paranormal research in the world have come there and said it's something special. They do an event every year called Hillcon Paranormal Convention. I was a speaker last year, and I'm a speaker again this year. Now, the reason I bring this up is exactly what Matt just talked about. They asked recently, what is my subject matter of my speech this year going to be? And it is understanding spiritual phenomena through the lens of ethereal dynamics and quantum optics, quantum mysticism, and quantum physics. And I will be giving an entire lecture on those regards of how to break the bounds and binds of different dimensional gateways, and how to really connect with spirit and the supernatural and the dead by using quantum physics, by using quantum dynamics. And it's going to be a pretty wild speech. So for anybody in the vicinity of that, August 13th, check it out. We'll be talking about those matters. It's a great thing. So, Matt, I'm glad you said that because it's something I certainly love myself. Now, we'll go ahead, Jay, and ask you, if you had all that time, what would you put it into?
Porn and masturbation.
There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, thank you, because I've been waiting for the day that someone would answer that exact answer and say, you know what, if I had all this time, I would just jerk it.
Dude, yeah. Dude, I'm a fucking somewhat of a nihilist. Like, we're nothing. Nothing means anything. Doesn't fucking matter. There's going to be another species that's going to take over the planet. If the planet survives, why not just jerk it, dude? And porn, dude. Oh my God. It's like free on your phone. Like, just there. You remember being a kid and just like, you had to like find that shit, or you had to find your dad's stash, or you had to like fucking go and buy it when you turned 18. You were like, cool, I can buy porn now. Like, dude, I haven't bought porn since like, fucking what? Since I turned fucking 19.
So, folks, what Jay is saying out there is he is a Pornhub connoisseur. He says, you know what? I don't need to pay for anything. I am a Jedi warrior of the porn game, so I'm going to watch porn and I'm going to jerk it, and I don't need anything else in life. Nothing else matters. We're all going to die. Nothing has meaning except jerking.
Coming is the best thing in the world. I'm sorry. It just is. I don't give a shit. Giant shits. Your first kiss. Skipping through flowers. None of that equates to what coming is. Coming is awesome.
I like taking shits and I like jerking off, and that's all I need in life.
Yes.
They're both great releases for me, and that's what I put my time into.
Like how there was like a deep conversation of like spiritualism, and you're like, Jay, what about you? And I'm like, coming.
Yeah, we're going to talk about quantum physics and quantum mysticism and how you breach the doorways of reality. Yeah, I would just jerk off a bunch.
Yep. Just come and die, man.
That's all right. Hey, I say jerk away, brother. You know, do what you got to do. Now,
on a little sidebar on there, when we record, every time we've recorded, actually, Jay has his favorite. He's got his favorite porn star. He's got a picture of her that's autographed, and Lexi Bell must be in the room while he is recording.
Lexi Bell, please reach out to me. I saw you once. You probably thought I was like a mentally ill kid. I wasn't. I was just starstruck. I love you.
She's like, look at this little retarded kid over here in the corner jerking off.
I got to meet her at a sex show, and I was like speechless. Like the only thing I said to her was like, "I tell you, fuck Robin," because she's in like a XXX Batman, which is also good. Everybody should check that Batman porno out. There's an option to not have the sex. You can just watch the Batman shit. It's pretty good.
Well, if you're listening out there, you have a great fan, and if you're listening out there, hit me up because I'll get you on for an interview. I've been meaning to get a good porn star name on the show. At some point, that's going to happen.
Oh my God, get me on that interview too. I want to talk to her.
It will happen. I've had porn stars on the show before, but I haven't had her, so we'll have to make that happen. But we have some people leaving comments right now saying, "Laugh my fucking ass off. This is the best interview by far." We have another one saying that was the best answer of all time. So good answers. So I like that. We have one other question before we finish up for the evening, and this one's one I've been asking just this season. It's a newer question, but I really like where it goes because everybody has a specific meaning, and it's a pretty serious question. So it says that if you guys had one option, either A or B, you knew that your life was about to end, and you had the option of either spending that with your loved ones, your family and your friends, and you could hold one another, hug one another, and be close and really feel that love in the ending moments. But you weren't allowed to write any messages or speak out loud. There is no communication other than the sense of just merely holding one another close and loving one another in that regard. Or B is you could say everything that you wanted to your loved ones verbally before you go. But you're separated by a barrier, and there's no physical touch at all. No holding hands, no hugging, no kissing, and it is just being able to tell them how you feel. What do you pick? And Jay, let's start out with you. Do you pick A, being together and holding one another with your loved ones, knowing that it's about to end, especially in a nihilistic point of view, knowing that this is it, there's nothing else after this? Or do you tell them and have to let them know verbally what you feel?
Oh, that's fucked up. Because I would like to hold my wife and my dogs and hold them, tell them that I love them, or just like hold them. But it would also be awesome if I was about to die just to be behind a glass window flipping off my band.
Well, I mean, you could do that with option A. You don't have to speak. You can just really hold your loved ones and flip your band off at the same time.
Oh, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll hold my loved one to flip my band off. Fuck yeah.
All right, we're gonna go with that then.
Wrong, but come on.
Now, Matt, what about you? What are we saying for you, Matt?
I'd probably choose I'd probably choose option A, or just being there physically but not being able to talk, because it's like I don't know. Language is a weird thing. Can be interpreted in a million different ways. It's just like it's a human construct. You know, we just make these sounds and we give these words meaning. And coming from a band where we're not too serious on words. We really just, that's kind of like the mantra. It's like, these are just words. If you get offended, well, too fucking bad for you. Like, just change the channel. So to me, I would say speech and words just in general doesn't really hold any water to me. I'm definitely more of an actions person. So I guess I would just say I would rather be there physically without the ability to talk. Because I feel like, you know, if you actually have that connection, you're probably talking without words. You know, I think that's the route I would go. And then plus, like, if you're going to die and there's a window between you and you can talk all day, and you're like, cool, I just said my last final words, but the meteor still has 2.5 minutes before it destroys Earth, so now we're just in this, like, awkward silence where we've all said our stuff. And, so, like, I feel like the talking option leaves a bunch of awkward silence. Because, I mean, what are you going to talk about after you said your goodbyes? But you got 2 minutes till the Earth ends.
True. No one's ever said that, so that's a very good point of view. I mean, that's stepping outside the normal box of what people conceive whenever they think of that. So, no, I like that. Well, you heard it, folks. We got to jump into these guys' minds tonight as individuals, as a band, as a unit. Got to talk over some great conversation. We have a lot of you saying this is one of the funnest episodes you've heard in a long time, and I knew it would be. I was very excited for this evening, and that's exactly the reason that I legitimately messaged these guys first before anybody else on this entire season. So even though they're episode 7, they were messaged before every other guest you've heard so far. So I knew it was going to be a great time. We'd have a lot of fun together. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you like it, share it around to all your family and friends out there that might be into underground entertainment. Make sure you tune into past episodes and the future episodes. Next week, we have an opening, so there will be an episode. I just don't know who the guest is next week. Somehow that wasn't booked, but we booked beyond that. So 2 weeks from now, we have the Rooster from Nine Stitch Method and Seethe. He's a part of a couple different groups. Great guy. We have a lot of connection with one another and running different past businesses. It'll be a great episode. After that, we do have Natasha Sarver, who is the owner of Little Shop of Lilith, which is a metaphysical and witchcraft shop in Pennsylvania. We'll be talking with her and many other guests coming up this season. So make sure you stick around for those episodes. I'll announce next week as soon as I figure out who the fuck's going to be on here. So make sure you share it around and certainly get the news out there. And other than that, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in this evening. We have one other track that we'll be jumping into in just a moment. And we'll go ahead and get that started. We do want to thank Angelic Desolation for coming on this evening and having such a great interview with us, sharing everything with us. Before I jump into Cyborg Vampire, which is our last track of the evening, do you guys want to share any last news or promotions of what's coming up before we jump in?
I would say just because, we're separated pretty far geographically. We're not doing an East Coast tour this year, unfortunately. I'm sorry for anybody out that far. But at the end of May, we're doing a Southwest run through Arizona, California, and Vegas. In the middle of June, we're doing a tour that starts here in Colorado, goes down to Texas. Then we kind of go all the way south as far as Alabama, then start cutting back up north. So we're kind of doing like a southern Midwestern tour in June. Yeah. And then in August at the end, we're starting out as a Midwest tour and kind of going up north. So we're going up in Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, places we've never played before, with the final date of that being Slam Dakota again. So we're hitting the road 3 different times this year. And pretty much, if you're not in the Pacific Northwest, or if you're not in the East Coast, if you're anywhere else other than there, or I guess Montana, because who the fuck tours in Montana? As long as you're not in one of those locations, you can probably catch us with a few hour drive. We're hitting the road quite a bit this year.
Montana, warm that time of year?
Probably.
Everywhere's warm.
Well, you heard it, folks. They gave you some good information to check out. Make sure if they come to a town near you that you're there, you support them, you buy their music, their upcoming album that's soon to drop. Make sure you go out to their shows. Make sure you support them in any way that you can and buy their merch. You can check them out at angelicdesolation.bandcamp.com. You can check them out at facebook.com/Angelic Desolation Official. Instagram.com/Angelic Desolation, twitter.com, Angelic Desolation, soundcloud.com, Angelic Desolation. There's backslashes before the name. I'm sure you guys are smart enough to figure that out. Spotify.com /Angelic Desolation, and also on YouTube by just searching the name. So make sure you check them out, give them love and support, share their products around.
My podcast is the Crypt Creeper Horror Show.
And please check out that as well.
Yeah, I just get drunk and talk about movies. It's cool.
Crypt Keeper Horror Show. Make sure you check it out, folks, if you're out there and you're a fan of podcasts, which if you're listening, you obviously are. So make sure you check out his podcast as well and show him some love. Share the love around. You are the lifeblood out there that keeps all of us doing what it is that we do. We appreciate it. Make sure you check out our past episodes here on Uncovering the Underground and the future episodes. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see us do, not do, who you want to see us have on the show, or anything you want to see us do differently, drop us a line at celestialaddities@gmail.com. Again, that's celestialaddities@gmail.com. You can add me at Freighter Crow on Facebook, or you can go to the Uncovering the Underground group page where we talk about the guests and things that we have on the show, promote them, promote the upcoming episodes. Other than that, we will drop into the final track this evening, which is Cyborg Vampire. And once again, guys, I appreciate you coming on the show, and I look forward to having you on again sometime in the future.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you for having us again, man. Always a pleasure.
Oh, not a problem. Well, folks, this is Cyborg Vampire by Angelic Desolation. I'll catch you next Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. here on Uncovering the Underground. Have a good night. Until you kill it.